you know what? Since we just watched the thing about the Greeks and there's prostitution involved, let's switch over to Japan. Let's switch over to Japan. So this one was another suggestion. Dark Side of Japan, from classroom to pleasing male customers. So I'm not quite sure what we're in for going into this, but I will admit I am intrigued because I'm not sure where we're going on this. And yes, Falcon, I didn't see the video, I heard about it though. We may look at that next. No, Atanashi, just for this one because I'm just trying to go through videos of what people have suggested. These are like video suggestions. So let's check this out and then we'll move on to a non-sex themed video after this one, don't worry.
Japan's lively and colorful culture often conceals a darker side that most outsiders never see. Did you know that if you have tattoos, you're often barred from entering public swimming pools or bathhouses? And
really?
In this work of...
Okay, now I can actually understand why that would be. Because Japan is not as liberal regarding tattoos as the rest of the world, because I'm pretty sure in Japan, exactly. In Japan, I think only the Yakuza get tattooed. So, if you have a tattoo, it's viewed as being Yakuza. So that actually makes a lot of sense.
Nation, it's not uncommon to find people so exhausted that they sleep on the streets, or, in extreme cases, vanish entirely to start a new life elsewhere. What really happens...
Or die. Or die, like I've heard about the work with the work culture. Some people literally worked themselves to exhaustion and died. I think there was one guy who fell asleep on a train and just never woke up again. Have heard about that.
Happens when the allure of Japan's traditions clashes with the starkness of reality. Stay with us as we reveal the unsettling truth behind some of Japan's most mysterious and surprising social issues.
By the way, chat, how's the volume in this video? Is it loud enough for you? It does sound like this may be a quieter video. Is the volume loud enough for you guys? Or do you need me to try and turn it up a little bit?
1. Maid cafes.
Okay.
Japan's maid cafes, a concept unique to the country, are a far cry from what you might find elsewhere in the world.
Yeah,
These
this is true.
Cafes, which emerged in the early year 2000 in Tokyo's Akihabara district, feature waitresses dressed in maid costumes who serve customers.
Okay, no, God. I was gonna say, it had to have been earlier than that, but he said 2000. For some reason, I equated 2000 to 2020. Don't mind me, it's one of those days.
Customers with a playful, subservient demeanor, often addressing them as master or mistress. Catering primarily to the otaku subculture, these cafes offer an immersive experience that closely mirrors the dynamics found in anime and manga. With around 60 maid cafes in Akihabara alone, this phenomenon has become deeply ingrained in Japanese pop culture. On the surface, they offer a cozy and whimsical atmosphere, complete with creatively presented food and various interactions.
Interestingly enough, chat, I've been hearing that people are trying to bring maid cafes to the West. I can't remember if this was in the US or in Canada, but I do believe someone actually opened a maid cafe in the West, and it's been pretty popular. So I do think that the concept of the maid cafe is going to start moving out of Japan, and I do think that it is going to be coming across the ocean to North America. Possibly enemy guy? I could see someone taking issue with it. Absolutely, because the fucking Karens. But considering how much more popular anime and manga is to what the Western comic book industry, I could see there being a push for this because, interestingly enough, we're seeing a lot of video of what happens inside a maid cafe. I remember watching a video some time ago of a guy who was in Japan and he went to a maid cafe and was actually told he could not record any video while he was in the maid cafe. Now, maybe they've changed that, and now you can start actually recording video and taking pictures in the maid cafe, which is how we're able to get the footage. But I think we weren't allowed to actually do that. So, yeah, and that's the thing. It's like the maid cap, like, there's obviously a big misunderstanding for these conservative types that are like, oh no, I don't want that shameful thing happening here. Like, maid cafes are very wholesome. They have rules like you do not fucking touch the maids. And the maids just basically act cute. They call you master or mistress, depending on, who you are. And they basically just, like, they dote on you and make you feel special. And that's it. So, yeah, I could see Karen's basically go, oh, these girls are subjugating themselves. And it's like, okay, Karen, shut the fuck up. Go read your Bible some more and go hide in your house. But a lot of people would probably love this because, like I said, anime and manga is more popular in America than Western comic books. So these would, if these started, if these started popping up in America, they'd get really popular. And I feel like if the SJAs, okay, Hooters is different. Hooters is a completely different experience. But you know what? The feminists, the SJA feminists reeing against it, I think they probably get, the maid cafes would get a lot of support from people saying, go fuck yourself, this is fine. This is not lewd, this is not like a whorehouse. These are girls that are just making you feel special for 30 minutes. You know, if you're gonna have a problem with maid cafes, then you better go after the Hooters. You better go after the strip clubs, because those are far worse than the maid cafes.
Active services like games and personalized greetings. However, beneath this playful exterior lies a much darker reality.
Oh,
The work environment for maids in these cafes is reportedly highly stressful. Many of these young women experience significant anxiety, with some even suffering panic attacks during their shifts.
really?
There's also an intense pressure to maintain a certain physical appearance. Maids are strictly forbidden from gaining weight and must keep their figures as slim as possible. This obsession with
Okay. How is this different from Hooters or strip clubs or any casino in Vegas? Huh? How is that? I don't, like, yeah, it's something I wouldn't consider a darker side of maid cafes because maintaining your weight and having to stay cheerful, this having to stay cheerful part, that's literally any fucking customer service job on the planet. You're supposed to smile when someone is raging at you. And as far as like maintaining your weight, Hooters does that. Every casino in Vegas does that. Strip clubs have a certain, body type that they will not hire because it's a fucking strip club. So, you know, Hooters and Twin Peaks because what? Hooters and Twin Peaks? What is Twin Peaks, anime guy? I've never heard of that. Well, Hoseki, that is the question. Maybe I'll go into a little further in depth.
appearance is not just a job requirement, but a reflection of the deep-seated societal expectations placed on these women. The hierarchy within these cafes adds another layer of complexity. Foreign maids, despite their efforts to assimilate, often find themselves at the bottom of the pecking order, facing discrimination and additional challenges in their roles.
Okay, let's not be disingenuous here. That's not just maid cafes. Foreigners in any job in Japan are looked down upon because as much as people might not want to hear this, yes, Japan is pretty racist. Japan is pretty racist and xenophobic. They are. It doesn't matter what job you're doing over in Japan. If you are not Japanese, you are looked down upon. It's so let's not be disingenuous about it being in the maid cafe. This is literally the whole fucking country.
Moreover, the customer base that these cafes attract isn't always benign. There are online forums where customers discuss the maids in explicit and degrading terms, reducing these women to mere objects of fantasy rather than acknowledging their
So,
humanity.
that's everywhere.
While maid cafes
Okay, this so far this is not selling me on the dark side of the maid cafe. This is literally done everywhere. It's not just maid cafes. This kind of thing is, and yes, not all guys would do that. Correct, Falcon. Not all guys would do it. Not by any stretch of the imagination. But taking women that are in costume or presented in an intensely feminine situation, yes, they're going to get rated on online forums. How the fuck do you think Facebook came to be? The whole purpose of Facebook in its inception was to rate the hot girls at wherever fucking college Zuckerberg was at. This is not something limited to maid cafes. This is everywhere. If you have a cute girl in a costume, and you have multiple cute girls in that costume that is basically uniform, they're gonna get rated. That's facts. That's how modern society works. So, again, this is disingenuous about maid cafes.
cafes are a unique and popular aspect of Japanese culture. They also reinforce traditional gender stereotypes and commodify fantasy in ways that
Wait.
They also while mere
I need
objects of
context here. Hang
fantasy
on.
rather than acknowledging their humanity. While maid cafes are a unique and popular aspect of Japanese culture, they also reinforce traditional gender stereotypes and commodify fantasy in ways that raise serious questions about their
What?
impact on societal norms.
What?
As we explore the
Are you fucking kidding me? Is this guy really saying maid cafes are stereotyping women as maids, as subservient maids? Yeah, I did not think it was gonna go this route. This is not what I was expecting. Like, the whole purpose of the maid cafe is to feed into that. Guys go to maid cafes because they want the cute girl waiting on them. They want that little bit of a fantasy for 30 minutes while they have spent time in the maid cafe. They want that moment of the stereotype. And honestly, I doubt very many of the girls working there have an objection to it. Yeah, Falcon, yeah, women go to the opposite as well. This is not just a one-sided thing. Women go to the opposite. That's why you have, like, the hosts. You have the male and female hosts in different businesses in Japan, where you have male and female hosts that will kind of like cuddle up with you and talk with you and kind of act like a date for you temporarily.
Cheer 100. I think the problem is some of the girls are still high school age.
Statistic that may be possible. I'm honestly surprised age has not been mentioned here yet. Maybe age will get mentioned, but we will see. But so far, what this guy's complaining about, it's trying to basically take the California ideology and impose it upon Japan. Like, yeah, the work culture sucks, and in general. And yeah, I can kind of see like the rigid body standards being a pain. But again, it's done in the US, and I don't hear him talking about how it's done in the US. So, the rest of it is just like, oh, it's reinforcing stereotypes. Go fuck yourself. The girls are cute, they're acting cute, they're drawing in, the whole purpose is to draw in male customers. And it's not like these girls expect to be treated like this outside of work. There is a separation of at work and outside of work.
dark side of this industry, It's crucial to reflect on the broader implications for the young women who work in these environments and the cultural forces
God.
that shape their experiences. Do you think the whimsical charm of maid cafes outweighs the darker realities faced by the maids? Or does the pressure and
What?
discrimination they endure change your perception of this cultural phenomenon? Share.
Okay, pressure? What fucking discrimination is he talking about? Did I miss some kind of discrimination that he's talking about? There was no discrimination unless he's talking about the body standards. Like, what is he talking about? This doesn't make sense.
Share your thoughts in the comments below. 2. Discrimination. Japan is often praised for its hospitality and politeness, but beneath this surface lies a society that struggles with deep-rooted discrimination. While Japan is known for its homogeneity, with over 98% of the population being ethnically Japanese, this uniformity comes with its own set of challenges, particularly for those who are perceived as different.
It sounds like it, Falcon.
One such group is the Hafu, or half-Japanese individuals. Despite having one
Okay.
Japanese parent, many Hafu find themselves treated as perpetual outsiders, viewed as
Yeah,
foreigners
this is
in the
not
only country
unknown.
they may have ever known. This
This is not unknown. There was that. What was it? There was that one.
I have a feeling this creator has the white savior complex.
Possibly drowning mouse. Well, Atanashi. Anyone that is not pure Japanese in Japan is not liked. Remember the immense uproar when there was that one woman who won the Miss Japan, and excuse me. Oh, hurt me. There was that one Miss Japan. They tried to strip the title from her because even though she migrated, I don't think she was born in Japan, but I think her parents migrated there when she was an infant, and she spent her entire life in Japan, speaks flawless Japanese, but she wasn't Japanese, and she won the Miss Japanese contest or some kind of beauty contest, and the public went fucking schizo and wanted her stripped of the title. You know, and that's hang on. Okay, Freddie was not Japanese, married Japanese family. Basically, yeah, that's actually yeah, it's bad. He also likely has never been to Japan. He googled why is Japan banned, snagged a bunch of stock footage, laid on voiceover. Maybe I don't know. Um, it's just like the Japanese do not like outsiders. That is no. That's not exactly a quote unquote dark side of Japan, because everybody fucking knows about it. Like, literally, this is not of anything new.
alienation is even more pronounced for those with Korean or Chinese heritage, as historical tensions between Japan and these countries continue to fuel prejudice. Black Hafu, in particular, often bear the brunt of harmful stereotypes, being labeled with assumptions about their abilities or interests, such as being naturally athletic or inclined.
And again, this is something known, which of course begs the question, how in the fuck did Ubisoft think that the new Assassin's Creed game was not going to have the entire fucking country go apeshit? Like, this right here, like, again, this is known, this is not like it's anything new. So with this being the subject matter at hand now, how did Ubisoft not thinking having Yatsuke as one of the protagonists would
I
not
think the
piss off the
reason for
entirety of
Japan
Japan?
not liking outsiders goes back to bad people disrespecting the culture.
I think it's Barb, it's more than people disrespecting culture, it's being at war with other people. Like I said, tensions between Korean and Chinese because they tried to invade Japan. Um, it stems more from conflict versus a disrespecting of the culture. The disrespecting of the culture is what had them shutting down an entire area of Kyoto where traditional geisha are. And that's where the disrespecting of the culture is. The disrespecting of culture is kind of a cherry on top of why people in Japan basically do not like or do not trust people that are not Japanese. And Mercedes, thank you for the tier 1. Thank you so much.
Towards specific types of music. Discrimination in Japan is a multifaceted issue, deeply intertwined with the nation's history, culture, and societal norms. Ethnic minorities such as the Barakuman, Ainu, and Ryukyuans continue to face social stigma and economic barriers, rooted in their unique cultural identities and historical marginalization.
Yeah.
The
Oh, I'm sure
Zainichi
that absolutely
Koreans,
played a factor.
descendants of Koreans brought to Japan during its colonial era, still encounter significant challenges, particularly regarding legal status and employment opportunities. Non-Japanese residents in Japan also grapple with prejudice, often finding it difficult to secure housing or jobs, with some landlords and employers outright refusing to serve them. Gender
again, this
discrimination
is
remains
known.
pervasive, with women facing a considerable wage gap, limited opportunities for career progression, and a culture of workplace harassment, all reflective of deeply ingrained traditional gender roles. Although LGBTQ individuals may be safer in Japan compared to some other Asian countries, they still face social stigma and lack legal recognition for same-gender relationships, despite some gradual progress in more urban areas.
What's so funny is, well, Atanashi, he's obviously, like, that is I think that's his linchpin for his video, is he has a problem with traditional gender roles. He has a problem with it. Why that is, I don't know, but he's obviously got an issue with the traditional the traditional roles, and is using that as the crux of every argument. What I find funny is when he was talking about the LGBT stuff, considering how prevalent it is in anime, manga, and hentai, you'd think that LGBT stuff would not be such an issue in Japan. Obviously I'm guessing it still is to a degree, but I mean, it is all over their manga and hentai, particularly the T. I honestly can't think of like the manga especially is like there's you will find, as much as like the Western comic book industry is trying to say, look at how we are being so inclusive, blah blah blah. They don't while they're trying to turn the comic book industry is trying to turn every modern superhero bi or gay, because they are trying to turn literally every superhero bi or gay. You don't hear about them too much when it comes to transgender. I've heard about maybe one, perhaps two transgender superheroes. Look at Japanese manga and anime. They're like, some of their lead characters are transgender or crossdressers. And they do it tastefully. They don't like tokenize them. They do it tastefully. I think was it Baka to Test had that one character that's constantly being mistaken as a girl, so he just constantly dresses like a girl. And what was the other one? Yeah, it's a comedic gag, but there's also Maid Sama. Maid Sama had a character who, I don't know if they were a crossdresser or if they were considered transgender, but it worked. Yeah, the anime trap is a big thing. Astolfo. Yeah, there's your example there. Like there's so many examples of either transgender or cross-dressing, either or. They're represented so much better in manga and anime than anything that's coming out of the West. The West, the West continues to try and say, look at how inclusive we're being. It's like, great, where is your well-written transgender characters? Or where are your well-written cross-dresser characters? Japan's been doing this for decades. Where are you at? You know?
While Japan's struggle with discrimination reveals the
That's
complexities beneath its
and who said that? Hoseki, you're right about that. That is something that should be that it should something to be said. A lot of the stuff in manga is specifically to escape from the traditional tropes in Japan itself. Um, the bucking against tradition, a character achieving something that they should not be able to achieve. There is a shit ton of escapism in those because it can't happen in real life in Japan. So you can't appreciate that. What? Something was wrong? What are you talking about? Kachu Okay, I forget who the character's name was. So he was a cross-dresser. He wasn't transgender. Okay. I couldn't remember if it was actually referenced if he was just a cross-dresser or if he was actually transgender. So I didn't want to say either or because I couldn't remember.
While Japan's struggle with discrimination reveals the complexities beneath its polite facade, the nation's innovative spirit manifests in surprising ways, from high-tech gadgets to luxury items, offering a glimpse into how this culture balances deep-rooted traditions with a drive for modern ingenuity. 3. Privacy concerns and technology. Japan is renowned.
Okay, Atanashi, I will say America is not falling apart, but it is a pressure cooker right now. America and Canada are pressure cookers right now that are on the verge of blowing. So it's you know that needs to be acknowledged. That tensions within the two countries are with themselves, not with each other, are getting to the point that it is a pressure cooker with the safety release valve not working right now. Yeah, oh yes, correct that, Tanashi. We haven't hit the failure point yet, but that pressure is building. And when it does fail, it's gonna fail big time.
For its unique inventions, which can range from practical to downright unusual. For example, Japan has created a cooling spray that helps people combat the sweltering summer heat.
Okay.
This foam can be applied directly to
Oh,
the skin or onto surfaces, providing
interesting.
instant relief from the heat. It's clear that the Japanese are passionate about finding creative ways to stay cool. Another
Yeah.
innovative creation is the fan jacket, a piece of clothing equipped with built-in air conditioning. This
Yeah.
invention is particularly useful for those working outdoors in hot and humid conditions.
Interesting
But
idea. I wonder how many people got electrocuted using one of those things. Oh, drowning was this surprised me. I mean, the water, the spray it's just freaking water. Oh, Scott, no, don't, no, don't do that. Don't do that. I know exactly what you're talking about. Don't. Those commercials, holy shit. When I actually watched regular TV, I would sometimes get like three of those commercials during a commercial break. It was fucking insane.
But Japan's creativity doesn't stop there. There's also the concept of overtime work stickers, which allow individuals to signal that they're working late, politely asking others not
Huh.
to disturb them. And let's not forget Japan's luxury fruit market.
Which the work stickers brings up the other issue, which is Japan doesn't do overtime. but yet you are expected to work overtime, especially if you are a corporate man. If you're a salary man, that, that absolutely sucks. Like the work culture, at 100%, I will say fucking sucks over Japan. Cause you could work a 40-hour week and be expected to work a 60-hour week at minimum. And that sucks. It means you basically have no life.
Here you can find items like the exquisite white jewel strawberry and even square-shaped watermelons. These fruits can fetch prices as high as tens of thousands of dollars, making them an extravagant gift option when visiting someone. Before we continue, I have a 10-second request for all of you. If you can help us out, please hit that subscribe button. It would mean a lot to us. In return, we promise to keep making this show even better for you. Deal? 4. Japanese Yakuza.
Okay?
The Japanese Yakuza, a notorious organized crime syndicate, has deep roots that stretch back over 3 centuries, originating around the year 1612.
Well, am I crazy? I thought the Yakuza existed before then. Maybe I'm thinking wronger. I thought the Yakuza existed before the 1600s. What the hell am I thinking of? I could have sworn I've heard about the Yakuza existing longer than 300 years. But maybe I'm wrong. They're made to help post-atomic. I don't know. Yeah, and Rubus Run, that is true. I think, ironically enough, I think corporations kind of muscled Yakuza out of their markets, essentially. You don't, like, yeah, the Yakuza still exists, but they're honestly, from what I understand, I think the Yakuza are, like, more legit business than gangsters anymore. Yeah, I'm sure there are still Yakuza gangsters around on a street level, but the oh yes, Technopath. Yes, that's what it is. The Yakuza are the Japanese mafia, essentially. They are the Japanese mafia. Yeah, absolutely.
Initially drawing the government's attention in the early year 1700s, the Yakuza are structured into tightly knit families, mirroring the samurai's ancient codes of loyalty and honor. In fact, some believe that the Yakuza may have descended from bands of rogue samurai, known as Ronin. The
Okay, this man's pronunciations are fucking killing me. It's not pronounced Ronin. Yeah, it's pronounced Ronin. It could be. Yeah, it very well could be someone using AI for the voiceover. We have heard that before. That still kills me. You would think an AI voice would know how to pronounce Ronin.
Yakuza's activities are diverse and often illicit, including extortion, blackmail, smuggling, drug trafficking, gambling, and loan sharking. These operations extend into controlling various businesses such as restaurants, bars, and other establishments across Japanese cities.
Yeah, protection money.
A distinct characteristic of Yakuza members is their elaborate tattoos, which often carry deep, symbolic meanings. These tattoos are usually hidden under clothing to maintain a low profile. Additionally, members may be identified by their missing pinky fingers, a result of yubitsu.
There you go, you can see it, chat.
A ritual
Hang on. Okay, here you go, now you can see it.
finger shortening imposed as a penalty for misconduct. In the year 1960s, the Yakuza reached their peak, boasting a membership of over 184,000.
Oh.
However, by recent years, their numbers have dwindled to around 40,000, a significant decline likely attributed.
Honestly, I'm honestly surprised it's at 40,000. I thought for sure that in current state that Yakuza was actually less than 40,000. Because like I said, like a lot, I think the Yakuza has pivoted to legit business these days. While they still have their street level hustle going on, I thought for sure. I thought I read somewhere that the yakuza, like their business practices weren't legit. Like they filed taxes and everything or something.
Did to stringent laws introduced in the year 2011. These laws prohibit businesses from engaging in financial transactions with known gang members, making it increasingly difficult for the yakuza to operate openly. The connection between the yakuza and tattoos has had a profound impact on Japanese society. Tattoos are often stigmatized, being closely associated with criminal activity. This stigma is why many public facilities in Japan, such as hot springs, public baths, pools, gyms, and even some capsule hotels, have strict policies barring individuals with visible tattoos. These rules were implemented to prevent gang members from entering these spaces.
Boy, can you imagine how many people visiting from America would be fucked? Can you just imagine, like, how many people visiting from America and from Canada would be absolutely fucked if they visited Japan and wanted to go to these public bathhouses or the capsule hotels or the hot springs? Like, holy. You're not wearing a long sleeve shirt in the hot springs, Wolfie. Yeah, like, yeah, it's very few people nowadays don't have a tattoo. Honestly, many people don't. Drawdingos, you probably are something of a minority nowadays, not having tattoos. The Falcon, and I can see them doing that. I can see them changing it for tourists because obviously, excuse me, obviously a tourist from, you know, Caucasian or African American or even Muslim is not going to be identified as Asian in any way, like Japanese or even Korean or Chinese. So they obviously go, okay, you're a tourist. We're not going to stigmatize you for the tattoos. But it's still, I could see the Japanese people still like from a society standpoint stigmatizing you if like say if you've got like a sleeve. Um, yeah, well that Wolfie, that's why I specified Korean or Chinese when I said Asian. Um, it's because there's no hiding those sleeve tattoos, but you have to think from a societal standpoint that visitors that have those probably like are looked down upon. Even though they're only tourists, they get looked down upon by the Japanese, I would say. Um, Now it's supposition. It could be that perhaps in this day and age, more and more of the Japanese citizenry are taking a different mindset to it. It's entirely possible that the stigmatization. God, I can't talk. Is only in the older people are still clinging to the old idealized standard, whereas the young people are maintaining that lock on tradition, and they're starting to break free from the tradition. And Xanax, I'm not telling.
Beyond the Yakuza connection, the cultural perception of tattoos in Japan has historical roots. During the Edo period, criminals were often branded with tattoos as a form of punishment. Although tattoos were outlawed during the Meiji period, from the year 1868 to the year 1912, the ban was lifted in the year 1948. Despite this, the stigma surrounding tattoos persists, continuing to
Uh-huh.
restrict access for those who bear them in certain public places. 5. JK Business. The JK business in Japan refers to a range
Gee.
of commercial activities involving high school girls who interact with adult male customers, often under the
Huh?
guise of offering companionship or other services like
Wait. No, I don't have a fuel rat tattoo. Um, okay, I'm unfamiliar with JK services. Are these actual high school girls? Or are these legally adult women purporting themselves as Japanese high school girls? That's my wet. They're real high school girls. Well, yeah, the legal age of consent is 16, so 18. Hang on. This needs. Okay, we need to find this out. 16. Unless it changed. Restricted by age difference, 13. Restricted by authority, 16. Okay, so 16, but I'm guessing restricted by authority means you have to have parents' permission?
Hey guys, stop speculating. Amber obviously has an anaconda tattoo, and doesn't want to admit it because she's embarrassed.
I don't have an anaconda tattoo. Younger partner is deemed able to consent to having sex with an older one as long as the latter is not in a position of trust or authority or is recognized to be abusing. So 16. 16 is considered, what is... Okay, technically it could be 13. Technically it could be 13. For legal purposes, we'll say 16. And 18 is unrestricted for the consent. Okay. Yeah, it's more than a little confusing, Falcon. This one is this one is kind of a dark side because you're dealing with young teenage girls. This is one that I will say is concerning. I'm gonna back it up a little bit, but because Japan, as much as I hate to say it, Japan's got a lot of pervs. There's a reason why Japan. Let me put it this way: there's a reason why Japan made it a law that every single smartphone in Japan must, if purchased in Japan, every smartphone sold in Japan cannot have the shutter sound disabled on the camera. You cannot if you purchase a smartphone in Japan, the ability to turn off the shutter sound is locked off. You cannot do it. You have to be able to hear the shutter sound from the camera. Because of the prevalence of upskirt shots of teenage girls in Japan. So let's not, I won't mince words on this. There are a lot of pervs in Japan. There is no getting around that.
In Japan refers to a range of commercial activities involving high school girls who interact with adult male customers, often under the guise of offering companionship or other services like walking or chatting. In Japanese society, they are often identified as JK, shorthand for Joshikosei, which translates to high school girls. Yet their existence extends well beyond the school gates, as many of them partake in diverse forms of work. The natural radiance of their youth is harnessed as a commodity in a multitude of ways. Akihabara is renowned for its diverse array of electronic goods and gadgets, making it a favored destination for tourists. As night falls,
Boy, this is a change going from essentially high school girl escorts to techie shit.
district morphs into a lively hub where young girls engage in part-time jobs to supplement their income. Even on nights that aren't Fridays, the compact bar is adorned with
Chat, are you seeing what I'm seeing? I'll back it up. Hang on. Let me do this. Watch closely, chat.
income. Even on nights that aren't Fridays, the compact bars adorned with speakers tempt a considerable
Damn. Wait. She got the bakery. She definitely got a bakery happening there. Hey!
tempt a considerable number of customers to venture inside.
Who knows where I
The
got? Maybe
attention
it is
here is
cotton.
focused on the stage, featuring young girls in enchanting and vibrant outfits reminiscent of candy wrappers. They grace the audience with
Candy
J-pop melodies,
wrappers?
captivating everyone with their cheerful and adorable choreography. The spectators, comprising men of working age, stand in unison, clapping and cheering. They sway their arms and tap their feet with enthusiasm, as if they were attending a rock concert.
Wait. Hang on. I want to hear. I was trying to come up with a joke, so I missed what he was saying. Let me hear this
A
again.
cheerful and adorable choreography. The spectators, comprising men of working age, stand in unison, clapping and cheering. They sway their arms and tap their feet with enthusiasm, as if they were attending a rock concert. The marketing appeal associated.
Okay. This video went into an unusually descriptive nature regarding what the audience of these performers do. Like, why go into that much description for audience members enjoying the performer? Like, are they trying to say, like, it's men standing around cheering, waving their arms, and tapping their feet? Like, why? You could just say that they're performing for a crowd that's mostly men. And that would be enough. Why go into the description?
With the image and identity of high school girls is nothing new, but it has flourished in Japan since the year 1990s. Anime and manga, essential elements of Japanese culture, often portray relationships between high school girls and much older men across a spectrum of genres, from mature and dark plot lines to innocent romantic dramas.
To hentai. Let's be honest. But I don't know. In my opinion, there's not so much. I don't think that with the high school thing, it's the high school girls in manga and anime. I think it showcases relationships with students, with other characters their own age, versus like adults. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they do have them, absolutely, but I don't think it's the prevalent. Honestly, it's the most anime that I've seen and most manga that I've seen usually is they're usually in the same age range for the most, at least in my experience. It's yeah, you're gonna have the some of them where the girl the high school girl is falling for her teacher or something, but I know Falcon, I know.
Beyond manga and anime, the idol culture has extended its reach into various media and entertainment sectors, such as
This thing,
advertising, magazines, movies, music, and
yeah,
even crossing boundaries into prostitution.
yeah, I can kind of see that. Like the idol culture in Japan, that's another one. I don't know. Let me see how far he goes into it. The idol culture in Japan is another thing that's fucked.
Despite appearing harmless, these activities are controversial and exist in a legal gray area, raising concerns about the potential exploitation of minors. In response to these concerns, Tokyo implemented regulations in the year 2017, banning girls under 18 from participating and restricting where such businesses can operate. However, these businesses have adapted by shifting online or rebranding, making enforcement challenging. Critics argue that the JK business contributes to a broader cultural issue.
Okay, so he's kind of going off at the idol bit. Like the idol culture in Japan, honestly, is fucked. Um, actually, you know what? It's not just Japan. It's Japan and Korea. The idol culture in both of those countries is fucked because the idols themselves get treated like shit. They work the crap out of them. They put ungodly restrictions on them, and they don't actually make a lot of money. That's the thing. A lot of their money is taken from them by like their agencies and shit. And the restrictions, like the J-pop and the K-pop stars, God forbid they have personal life. The J-pop and K-pop idols cannot have a personal life. There have been so many instances where an idol gets into a relationship with someone and they are forced to actually come out onto like the news and make a public apology for having a relationship because because the fandom is so fucking insane. The fandoms of idols in Japan is worse than the fandoms of the West. Hands down. This is something where the fandom, like, people say, like, the fandoms in the West are bad. Oh, yeah, I saw Mohoseki. Oh, I know. I saw that story. I did about the Weather Girl. The fandoms in, people criticize the fandoms in the West of how, when they complain about something or when they have an issue with something about their particular fandom, that is nothing compared to K-pop and J-pop fandoms. Absolutely nothing compared to it. The J-pop and K-pop stars and idols, they're not even viewed as human. They are viewed essentially as objects. And if the idol does something that the fandom does not like, there is literal hell to pay for it. Like Hoseki was saying, this even applies to the weather people from the news. I think this was Japan, not Korea. There was a weather girl in Japan who was like hugely popular because she was cute, she was bubbly, she was funny. And by cute, I mean she was she was a cute girl. And when it was discovered that she had a boyfriend, she was absolutely fucking roasted by the public and had to make like a public apology for it. This is like, because fandoms in Japan and Korea are in fucking insane. And like the same thing would apply to like the VTubers out of Japan too. The VTubers in Japan, the fandom is insane also. And that's why we're seeing so much shit going on with Nijisanji. Is because Nijisanji is like, the people in the West are because so many people in the West watch the Nijisanji VTubers that they're not gonna stand for VTubers being treated like shit. So it's kind, well, and yeah, because Donkey Bird was part of the English version of Nijisanji. Pierce, let's see, personally, I understand Pierce's craziness. It was awesome, but the leap some of these people take with VTubers or idols is fucking creepy. Exactly, Geronimo's. Japan and Korea take the parasocial to the next 5 levels in terms of insanity. And I honestly don't know why anyone in Japan or in Korea wants to be an idol, given this insanity. No, Barb, I'm independent, and I'm going to stay independent for the foreseeable future, because nobody's gonna tell me how to run my fucking stream. Nobody's gonna tell me I have to promote this product. Nobody's gonna tell me I can't talk about X, Y, or Z. Nobody's gonna tell me that I have to talk about X, Y, or Z. This is my stream. I'm the fucking boss here, and that's how I like it. Let's just say I have a problem with authority in that respect. My stream, my rules, and that's how it's gonna stay. So it's honestly as simple as that. And your dog, yeah, I guess I could see it. They were tranced by the fame. They don't actually know what's happening behind the scenes. Maybe they do a good job at keeping that hidden. Maybe that's why they're able to keep that side of idols hidden. Although considering the public-facing stuff where people go schizo about it, I don't know. I mean, it's just... No, I don't have an anarchy tattoo. No, I do not.
Look at me, sure. Look at me, sure. I'm the captain now.
Some VTube companies popping up for like these four, do they have similar views to agencies? Barb, I don't know. I don't track the VTuber. Like, other than hearing about how fucking terrible Nijisanji is, I don't really track the VTuber agencies. I really don't know anything about them, honestly. Because I'm not going to be signing up with one, so I don't care.
Issue that commodifies young girls, and while efforts to curb these activities continue, the problem remains significant. How do you feel about the JK business in Japan? Do you see it as a troubling exploitation of young girls, or do you think the cultural context somehow justifies its existence despite the concerns?
I will freely admit the JK culture is disturbing, especially if they're under 18, because the big part is young girls that age are still developing. They don't have the experience to know if they're making a good decision. So yeah, this is the one aspect of it I will agree with this video on, is the JK business that's kind of a dirty business, and it is a no bueno.
6. Fukushima nuclear incident. You might recall the
What?
catastrophic event at Fukushima back in the year 2011,
How the fuck is
where
this
a
coming up?
15-meter tsunami crippled the Fukushima Daiichi reactors, leading to a nuclear disaster.
Yeah.
The incident was so severe that it was classified as a Level 7 event, the highest rating on the International Nuclear and Radiological Event Scale. Fast forward to August of the year 2023, when the Japanese government...
Wait. Oh, really? This is the incident inspired Shin Godzilla? Okay. Wait. Let me back that up.
The incident was so severe that it was classified as a Level 7 event, the highest rating on the International Nuclear and Radiological Event Scale.
Well, okay. Enemy guy, he's what they're saying
Yes,
is that the
build a nuclear plant in a tsunami area. Nothing could go wrong.
Okay, well, putting that aside. Yeah, enemy guy, I don't think that I'm not taking this as blaming Japan. This is not, it's saying, it was, when it was saying a level 7 nuclear disaster, it's just rating how bad the nuclear disaster was. That wasn't an assigning of blame to anybody. It was just it classifying how bad the nuclear disaster was. That's all. Like, I'm guessing that Chernobyl was also classified as a level 7 nuclear disaster, although I'd never heard Chernobyl classified in such a way before. Aaron, are you talking about Fukushima or Chernobyl? Because they did the same thing with Chernobyl. Fukushima, okay. Did they lie about it? I don't remember hearing too much about the Fukushima incident. But then, for any government, shocking.
Fast forward to August of the year 2023, when the Japanese government made the controversial decision to release treated radioactive water into the Pacific Ocean.
What?
This move came after receiving approval from the United Nations, as the radioactivity levels were found to be 1,500 becquerels per liter of tritium, significantly below the 60,000 becquerels per liter safety standard.
Yeah.
China reacted swiftly by banning all Japanese seafood, while citizens in Japan, Hong Kong, and South Korea expressed their worries through protests. Discussions on platforms like Reddit have highlighted that, according to some research, the radiation levels in the released water are comparable to those found in bananas.
Yeah, so this is okay. So it started
The reason
with
it failed was the back water pump generator were put inside a basement instead of a better location. It was a design flaw.
okay. So the this was basically, it wasn't just China, it was China and, what was it? Hang on.
Safety standard. China reacted swiftly by banning
Yeah, this was China just basically engaging the propaganda machine. That's all it was with China and South Korea. Yeah, this was, China was engaging the propaganda machine, something they're extremely good at. But again, this was a bunch of people that don't actually understand the science. These are either keyboard warriors or politicians that don't actually know what the fuck they're talking about when it comes to science and technology, not actually listening to the scientists and saying, guys, the radioactive amount in this water is nothing. Stop fucking worrying about it. So it's a bunch of people that didn't actually listen to the science, which is not surprising.
The Japanese government initially censored the Shin Godzilla movie because it portrayed them in the movie like how they reacted in real life when they refused to act on it. Cheer 100.
Really? Interesting. Yeah, Japan. Well, again, in Japan had protests probably because somebody posted the shit online, acting like they knew what they're talking about, when again, nobody listened to the actual science. Nobody listened to the actual scientists that actually know what the fuck they're talking about. Because Japan got approval from the United Nations, for God's sake. Robespierre, it's not only politics, it's also a bunch of Reddit keyboard warriors. And, like, anybody that goes onto Reddit and just takes it as gospel, stop. Stop doing that. Do not read anything on Reddit and take it as gospel. Do not read anything on Reddit and take that as and read that as a scientific journal. For the love of God, stop it.
According to some research, the radiation levels in the released water are comparable to those found in bananas, suggesting minimal risk. However, skepticism remains, as many argue that diluting radioactive water with seawater doesn't necessarily make it safe. In a bid to dispel fears,
For fuck's
Japan's
sake.
Prime Minister Fumio Kishida publicly consumed a
Ban
fish caught in
bananas law.
Fukushima, with his office even releasing a video of the event on social media. Interestingly, it was revealed that China's nuclear power plant, which led to the ban on Japanese products, had discharged approximately 3 times more tritium than Fukushima. Similarly, South Korea
Hence the use of the propaganda machine. Let's throw all the attention on Japan, so they're not looking at ours. If China's good at one thing, it's mass-producing shit and propaganda.
Korea's Kori nuclear power plant had released comparable amounts of tritium into the environment.
Your
7.
dog is it. I think this is just an overall, like, the dark side of Japan. It's just talking about stuff that's, that the average tourist is not going to see on the surface of Japan. That's my guess.
Salaryman culture.
This is what I was
In
talking about.
Japan, the term salaryman refers to salaried workers or white-collar employees who display extreme loyalty to their companies. This commitment often means working incredibly long hours, sometimes between 12 to 18 hours a day. Unfortunately, these workers are sometimes between 12 to 18 hours a day. Unfortunately, these workers are sometimes labeled with unkind terms like company servants or corporate livestock due to their unwavering dedication. A typical day for a Japanese corporate worker begins early, with the morning commute being a struggle as they cram themselves into overcrowded trains. These trains are so packed that the government has employed staff specifically to push passengers in, ensuring everyone fits. Once at the office, they work tirelessly until late at night, often only finding time to unwind in late-night spots like izakayas or small bars.
Hello, kitty. Hi, kitty. How's it going? How you doing?
Sweet looks to make a good pillow. Yeah, I'd say that would make a good pillow.
How's it going, kitty? How's your stream? I heard from my little strays that your chat had you crying today. A little kitty told me that your chat had you crying tears of happiness today. Yeah, congratulations, kitty. I know you deserve it. You absolutely deserve it. How was your stream? Did you guys have a good stream, I hope? I don't know how many of you, so Raiders, I don't know how many of you have been to my stream before, but, oh, thank you, Beauregard David. Thank you for the follow. So, Raiders, if you haven't been here before, and I have a feeling many of you have, because I know, Kitty, we share a lot of our chat, um, if you haven't been here before, hello and welcome. I'm Ember. I talk a lot. We watch interesting videos. And once I get my new computer, hopefully soon, I'm going to start doing actual gaming on stream. So that's what I do. If you would like to join us, currently we're watching a kind of skewed video about like the darker side of Japan that the regular tourist does not see. A lot of it which we know. Titty, as they should. As they should. It's your birthday. It would not be a proper birthday stream without chat breaking you in the most wonderful way possible. So chat, excellent work. Kitty's chat, excellent work on breaking her for her birthday. And happy birthday as well, Kitty. Happy birthday. I'm glad you had a really fun birthday. That is just wonderful. And by the way, Kitty, is it are we talking real birthday or streaming birthday?
Just so you know, there may or may not be a free Anaconda at Hutton Orbital. Be sure to CC Ember in your redemption email. I am not legally viable for any lack of Anaconda.
Dropping those. Aww. Kitty, you deserve it. You 100% deserve it. I'm so happy for you. I'm so glad you got that today. Oh yeah, sure, drowning those. Sure. We'll put this smile, but I'm spending that they would help you. That's wonderful. Well, Kitty, I hope you have a wonderful birthday with your hubby tomorrow. And I hope you have a great time. You deserve it. Moros, you will take my pipe from my cold, dead paws. Alright, so Raiders, we were just starting to get into the salaryman culture of Japan, which we all know is crazy. You're expected to work basically, yes, you're tasked with 40 hours of work a week, but you're typically working 80. So this is another dark side of Japanese culture that the common tourist may not know about.
Often only finding time to unwind in late-night spots like izakayas or small bars and pachinko parlors, a type of arcade game center. The exhaustion is so intense that many end up sleeping in public places such as the street, train stations, or even sidewalks. This relentless work schedule often means that families see very little of their fathers,
And
as they are seldom home.
This is what we talked about early on in the
The
stream.
grueling lifestyle of these corporate workers comes with severe consequences. Many suffer from heart issues, strokes, and significant mental health challenges.
Yeah.
It's not uncommon to witness
Unfortunately.
individuals breaking down on the streets of Tokyo, sometimes even resorting to screaming or punching walls out of sheer frustration. Unfortunately, these incidents have become so common that people tend to walk by without giving it much notice.
Yeah. And that's the tragedy of this. The real tragedy of this is these things have become it's almost as bad as where like in the US where a tragedy happens and people's first response is to whip out their phones and video it versus saying like calling 911. That's how bad it's gotten to see salary men, or salary women as the case may be, that are just collapsed out of sheer exhaustion or having a mental breakdown because of the level of work they have. They just, okay, it's another person having a mental breakdown. It's the same thing as, oh, there's another failed car crash. I'm gonna whip up my phone and take a video of it so I could post it to YouTube. That's what happens when stuff like this is just untreated. And it's not even the bystander effect, last chance. This is, I don't even know if
The
I
only
classify it as
problem I
that.
actually see is literally just the work culture and be their ridiculous laws. Other than that other shit is either stupid at best or just maybe raising eyebrow at worst.
It's different in context of work versus like seeing an accident or seeing a tragedy. The comparison is that both incidents have become so commonplace, people don't even think twice about it. They're just like, okay, that's happened again. That's it. So it's the commonplaceness of it that does not get addressed. And so it's the same thing. It evokes the same response as seeing an animal doing a neat trick. Like like seeing someone having collapsed from exhaustion because they worked so much should evoke an immediate, oh shit, I need to help this person response. Kind of like seeing a really bad car accident should evoke a, okay, we should see if these people are okay if they need help response. Both of them, they become so commonplace now that it's largely become blasé. With it in the States being, how can I use this to my advantage by taking a video of it and getting internet clout? That's a big problem that's not being addressed. And it's only gonna get worse if it doesn't get addressed. I don't think it's gonna show the forest, Xanax. I do not believe so. Um, I don't think it's gonna go that far.
While the intense and often overwhelming pressures faced by Japan's salarymen expose the darker side of dedication, the country's innovative yet sometimes quirky inventions. Stay tuned. 8. Innovative and wacky inventions.
Unless there's a dark side.
If you've ever bought a phone in
And he's already gone over innovative and wacky inventions. We're going back to this? I thought we already did wacky
Japan,
inventions.
there's one detail you might find frustrating. All phones come with a shutter sound that can't be turned off, no matter what you
Okay,
do.
I talked about this.
While this might be a minor inconvenience for some, it has a much deeper significance for others. This unchangeable shutter sound is in place due to privacy concerns, preventing people from taking inappropriate photos without consent. Japan has faced
Yeah, so like I said, they forced that because Japan is like a lot of pervs who are taking upskirt shots of typically high school girls. And it's a serious problem. And Japan actually forced this onto all phone manufacturers that sell out of Japan.
a significant issue with people taking unauthorized photos, particularly in public spaces. The Japanese police observed a sharp
Unauthorized
increase
photos,
in
huh?
cases of voyeurism, a rise of 60% from the year 2007 to the year 2016. To combat this, a law was implemented to protect vulnerable individuals, especially women. Even major companies like Apple have complied with this regulation, customizing the phones they send to Japan. 9. The aging population and solitary
Oh.
deaths.
Okay, who was asking about the elderly populations? Here you go.
Japan is facing a serious demographic crisis with one of the world's oldest populations. By the year 2023, nearly one-third of the population is 65 or older, and the birth rate has dropped to
I know
record
this was a
lows.
very serious problem. I think it still is.
This aging trend has led to a rise in kotokushi, where elderly people die alone, often unnoticed for weeks.
Eh.
The Japanese government, under Prime Minister Fumio Kishida, is trying to tackle this issue with policies to support families and keep older adults working. However, the challenges are immense, as the
So, The solution is to make old people work. That's their solution. Instead of having old people being able to live out their twilight years in peace, but they're lonely. Instead of the solution being giving them at leisure activities that they could do as a group, let's just keep them fucking working. Oh my fuck. Are you fucking kidding me on this? Because I know that, like, Japan is desperately trying to increase the birth rates. I know that birth rates is a huge fucking problem in Japan right now. And I think it's in, I want to say there is, I think there's a city in Japan. I believe this is in Japan. I think I'm right. Where there's an overabundance of a female population. So guys actually have legitimately something like 6 girlfriends or 6 wives. Like, there is not a single guy in this city or province or whatever it is. So it's like every guy is with like 6 different women or something like that. Like if you are not, like if you are a guy and you do not have one or multiple women, I forget if it's either frowned upon or women just basically start throwing themselves at you or something. I forget exactly. I saw a video on this a while ago, but it's, I don't know if that's maybe contributing or an attempt to try and contribute to an increased birth rate or what. But I mean, if you think about it, it's not surprising because look at the salaryman. Take a bit. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I haven't looked into that. But given the salaryman thing, is it really surprising that birth rates are falling and that the elderly just want to be left the fuck alone? They've spent their entire lives killing themselves as salarymen. When they can finally retire, they're probably just like, fuck this, I want to be left alone. It's like one part of the culture feeding into the other part of the culture directly. You've got to fix one before you're going to fix the other one. Instead, they're going in reverse.
The strain on healthcare and pensions grows, and the workforce continues to shrink. Japan's situation serves as a warning to other countries with aging populations, emphasizing the need for innovative solutions and strong community support to avoid tragic outcomes like
Arranged marriages
budokushi.
have been a thing in China for a very long time.
If you enjoyed today's video,
a very
please
long
give it a
time.
like, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Globe Go, your support means a lot to us. Click on the video that's appearing on your screen right now. I'm sure you'll love the content. Comment below on the next country you'd like to see featured on our channel. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for being with us. Leave a comment, like to show your support, and remember to hit that subscribe button for more exciting videos. See you next time.
So this channel, I'll still give it a like. Okay, so this channel is not a Western channel. This channel, I think, is an Eastern channel. I think this channel is Eastern. Based on that ending. Well, it says it's United States, but I don't know. Yes, okay. Yes. Alright.